Hello and a very warm welcome to Saurav Sir's classes. Today's tutorial will be on GMAT. We will actually focus on the quantitative segment of this particular paper. So without wasting any further time, let's get started straight with the tutorial. So let me talk about the procedure or the approach we are gonna undertake. Now we will be given a question, say for example question number 20. With respect to this question, we will be provided with two statements. Now we need to analyze these two statements with respect to this particular question given, and then after the analysis we need to comment, or we need to pick one of these 5 options that you can see on the screen. So this is what we are gonna do. So after saying that, after having said that, let's get started with the first question. Now we are going to start our tutorial with question number marked as 22. Now the question says A into B is not equal to 0. Is C an integer? Okay, so we need to comment on C, and we have been provided with two statements. So let us analyze the two statements one by one. So we'll analyze this statement first. Now this particular statement marked as 1 alone is actually insufficient. Now the question arises, why? The reason is it could give values for C that are both integers and non-integers. However, the question asks us to restrict ourselves to the domain of integers. So we cannot pick this. So 1 cannot be alone sufficient. Let us now move on to the statement marked as 2. That is, it's a relation A is equal to 2B. So this particular statement marked as 2 is alone insufficient. And how can I say this? So let me give you the answer to support this, something to support this particular statement which I have made. Because it says nothing about C, we do not get any information with regard to C. If the statements are combined, that means if you combine 1 and 2, then A and B could still take values that make C either an integer, that means it may give you value, say for example 1, 2, or a non-integer. So, or non-integer, and it may take the values 1 by 3 or 1 by 6, etc. Okay, so given this analysis, we can say that statement 1 and 2 together are not sufficient. That means the correct option that must be picked is option number E. Now let us move to question number 23. That means just the next question. Okay, so let's do it. So question number 23 reads that x equals this, and there is also a y component there in multiplicative form. Now if y denotes 1000th digit in decimal representation of x above, we need to comment what digit is y. Okay, so we have again two statement. So let us analyze them one by one. So first is 1. 1 says if x were rounded to nearest tenth, the result would be 0.6. Now if you look at statement 1, then you can clearly say that it is insufficient, and definitely I should provide a reason to support my answer. It is just because it gives us no new information about and we are looking for information with regard to y, so we don't get any extra information about y. And now let us move on to statement number 2. Statement number 2 says if x were rounded to nearest 100, the result would be 0.58. Now this alone is again insufficient. Why we are saying this? Because it tells us only that y is greater than equal to 5, which is not sufficient actually to answer this question, because they ask us what digit is 5. So combining the two statements 1 and 2 yields no new information. That means again the correct option that must be chosen out of these 5 is option number 5, or option marked as E. Now let us do one more. So now we will move on to question number 24. So question number 24 is this one. Let me clear the page so it will be okay. 24. Question number 24 says, is integer y positive? Okay, and we have been provided with statement 1 and 2. So let's see. We'll first scrutinize statement 1. So this one is alone sufficient. Now how can you say this? Because this statement actually means that y is less than -3, which means that y is not greater, or let me write it in this form, y is not greater than 0. Next is number 2. Now number 2 says this particular statement alone is insufficient. Question arises how? It is because the statement could work for values of y that are both greater than as well as less than 0. Such as, if you want the examples, it can be 1 and -1. So what we see here is that statement 1 alone is sufficient, while statement 2 alone is insufficient. That means the correct option will be option number A. So with this we wind up today's tutorial. So I hope this short tutorial on GMAT, where we have actually focused on the quantitative segment of this particular paper, was helpful. In case of any doubt or any kind of, if you have any kind of complication you are facing, or if you have any kind of request, or if you want to do anything, you need to know more about the topic, etc., you are free to call us or WhatsApp us on this number. And thank you so much for watching.